Listen up, Gotham.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Hi, Buttons, it's me, Harley Quinn.
This is Batman.
This is Robin.
Tune into the Bat Fanatic podcast.
The Bat Fanatic Podcast.
The Bat Fanatic Podcast.
The Bat Fanatic Podcast with Sammy Warmhands.
With Sammy Warmhands.
The Bat Fanatic Podcast. Bat Fanatic Podcast.
Although, Sam, you might think about changing the name.
Everybody, it's the Dark Knight of Rap, Sammy Warmhands, and this is the Bat Fanatic Podcast. As always, I'm joined by my co-hosts here for Bat Fanatic Friday. I've got Grumps and Gramps and Dunk in the house, and we've got to shout out our friends over at Raremark, formerly Nerd Crawler, and they are your online marketplace for original art, sketches, signed books, and more from artists like Art Germ, Frank Cho, Ryan Otley, Comic Sketch Art team's on there, Essential Sequential's on there, everybody's there. And you can get a free account and save money using our code BATFAN for your first purchase over $100. That's good through the end of the year, so use BATFAN for your first. And you know what? Your first could be from me, because I got some of my own collection on there. So check it out. And today we are wrapping up our summer of Superman. We have given you all of the two Donner cut returns, Man of Steel, preamble, and now we're doing the James Gunn 2025 reboot. No longer called Superman Legacy.
You lied to me. You said we were doing Jurassic Park.
You're the one who keeps saying Jurassic Park because you have this incredible denial. It's become like like the bane of your existence. I lay out that we're going to be doing these, and you're like, yeah, whatever, sure. And then as we proceed to do more of them, you're like, God damn it! And I don't know what to tell you, because this is the path we've been on. This is where we've been headed right now. This is the moment. It's the finish line. Here we are. Yeah.
It's the comment.
So I wanted to ask you guys, before we get into the movie, a question about collecting, a dilemma that I'm stuck in at this moment today. So there is a piece of art out there that is exactly the character and artist combination that I've been after for a couple years. And it showed up at a very good price. And guy says, make me an offer. I make him an offer. He says, no, I need to get this. Could you do this? I said, yes. And then it sold before I could get a response out of him. And I was very upset. That was last weekend. And then days later, it's up for sale again. And I hit up the guy and I was like, hey, I was really upset. Like, I missed out on that. Did it not sell? You just took it down? He's like, yeah, I just took it down. I'm like, what the fuck? So he told me in the DMs, hey, if you could do this, we could make it happen. And I said, yes. And he pulled it. And then he listed it for more than double that offer.
Fuck him.
And I was upset, but I still want the piece. And I can't pay that much.
He listed it that way so that no one else would buy it, and then you would make the offer and he can accept it. I
thought something like that, and I tried it again, and I said the offer still stands. And he declined it and said, sorry, I'm no longer willing to take that. I'm only willing to take this much, which was considerably more. And it's still a pretty good deal given what it is. But, I've not been making much money lately. And I had a really good day driving the taxi the other day, and I was going to use this towards that. Or I recently sold my van. I got my wife's old car now, which is like a nice new car to me, even though it's 8 years old. And I put in my old subwoofer, and I want to replace the speakers. I want to replace the deck, and get it up to the level that I'm at as a music producer guy, And so today, right before I came here, I was looking at car speakers, listening to them at Best Buy. I'm like, oh yeah, this is the one. I watched some YouTube videos. I think I found it. And so today I'm like, damn, I could spend that money and get my car exactly how I want it. Ugh, but it would kill me to pass up that fucking sketch. So I leave this to you, the panel. What do you think? Putting aside that this guy sucks, just the piece on its own.
Doesn't deserve my money.
Here's what you do,
Fuck
Sam.
that guy. Period. You know me, man.
And the business with somebody like that.
Don't deserve my money.
Can't.
Sam, this is what you do, man. You make me an offer, and I'll draw a copy of it and just how you want it.
There you go.
And then you got your car speakers. And then fuck that guy.
You'll just forge the signature down there, and it'll be just the same.
Yeah, screw that. The dude, listen.
Sounds like
If he agreed on a price, and then he pulled what he pulled, and then when he pulled it back up, and you already had on writing or whatever that this is the price we agreed on, and he's like, no, I can't do that anymore. Or though he said, I'll only take this much, and you agreed on it.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
I thought
Does
about
this guy's
reporting
name
him,
rhyme
honestly.
with like Mob Schmeifeld? Because that's the kind of crap that guy pulls.
No, his name is Bat Force Tom.
Oh, he's even worse.
That's a fuck no, man. No.
Yeah. It's eating me up though, because the guy is really pissing me off. But I
worth it.
was crestfallen.
You're not
when
gonna like it when you get it.
sold.
You're not going to like it. You're not going to enjoy it.
You
So
don't
get
think
what you
so?
enjoy. No, you're going to have some
Let him.
You're going to look
hit
at that
you
and be
up.
like, God, that guy jerked me around.
No,
I feel
let
like
him
I
hit
will
you.
forget about the man.
Yeah, well, no,
And-
because you have the art piece you got to stare at. So
Exactly.
what you do is
Yeah.
let him still try to sell it, and then when he comes back to you like, hey man, I'm having a hard time selling this, you're gonna be like, oh, I can't do that price. This is what I could do.
Yeah.
That's when you fuck them over. Like, don't.
Well,
you don't
I
give people, you
I
don't give
let
people
it
like that
sit
your money.
there. I let it sit there almost a week before I sent the like, hey, the offer still stands, just so he would kind of get the point of like, you're not going to get that much, dude.
Not worth it, man. As much as you want that piece, don't give people like that your money.
You're going to look at it with
You know
resentment
I
every
stand
time
in
you
that.
look at it. I wouldn't.
Okay. Well, that's good. And if
Yeah.
I if I do get it,
Not
feel
listen to
free
us.
to shame me. But I'm very torn on this.
And you gotta tell me off the record who it is like that.
You can't do business with somebody like
Yeah.
that. I mean, how could I would even question the authenticity of
I
what's it?
looked into that before I made any offers to make sure that I was trusting of it,
Nah.
But
From dudes that you ask an opinion of, and sort of 3 dudes that actually care about you, no,
yeah.
Nah.
not worth it. Screw that person.
Because, Sam, I think, as an art appreciator, collector, kind of like me, like, I have some pieces that, what really drove me to purchase that was my interaction and conversation with the artist. Even though
Yes.
it may not be visually the most appealing thing, it's like, you know what? I remember talking to this guy, and he really invested in me as a person.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to invest in you as an artist. And
I'll give those people my money all day.
yeah,
I
I do
agree
too.
with
I
that.
go to
Yeah.
these art festivals all the time, and if I really appreciate someone and they really are showing that, they put their heart and soul in, and you could tell that they're a genuine person and they invest as much back into me as the consumer, I'm going to give them my money, and I'm going to every time I look at that, I'm going to remember, man, that guy
What
was,
an interaction.
that lady was amazing. That was awesome. I
Yeah.
love that. And if you have to deal with that with this guy going back, you're going to look at that piece. It could be a Mona Lisa, and you're going to look at that going, man, that guy was just a jerk.
Well,
And I'm going to
first of all, it's not the artist. It's not the artist. It's a reseller. That's why I'm having this problem. But
Oh, okay.
I fully agree with you that making that personal connection with the artist is the best way. And this particular artist is not someone who does conventions anymore, or at least hasn't in several years. So I haven't got the opportunity to add to my, I need this fucking character to go next to my own
Fuck
one.
that reseller
So-
too. Should have your money anyway. That dude,
Yeah, they're-
scumbag.
He should not.
Yeah, he gave you a price, and then it's scumbag shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're done here.
Okay. I'm going to try to absorb this. It's been keeping me up. All right. So today we're talking about the last in our series.
Thank God.
Gramps, yeah, you can pray now. You rejoice.
The last son of Krypton.
This is Superman 2025, written and directed by James Gunn, starring, of course, David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Hoult. Some very interesting cameos here. I don't know if I should mention them now or later, but that's our core cast, and we have music by some guys I'm not familiar with, David Fleming and John Murphy. Everybody's seen this now. I was surprised that our Superman hater was the first of us to see it.
Well, to my defense, I did not buy the ticket.
It was a
was
Clockwork
date
Orange
night.
situation.
Yeah.
They just forced you.
They told me I was going to get to go see Jurassic Park.
Okay.
And then they switched.
Now, since you've brought it up twice, did you see Jurassic World?
Yes.
And what did you think? Because I saw it as well.
I
I love watching dinosaurs chomp on people. That's all
It's
I
so
care
much
about.
fun.
I don't care about the plot. I just want to see some dinosaurs chomp on people. Just chomp on them.
Especially stupid ones.
Yeah, stupid ones, the bad ones, awesome. And if
Okay.
they do it piece by piece, it's even better. First an arm.
Deleted scenes.
I felt like there was a shot in this movie where they tried to throw back to the T-Rex eating the lawyer in the first one. Where,
Right.
like they want you to not like this guy so he can
Yeah.
get eaten. And I'm like, yeah, I could tell where that was going.
Yeah.
I liked Scarlett as the lead, and I love Mahershala Ali as an actor.
Oh,
And
he was
I-
really the heart of the movie. I mean,
I
him
immediately
and the
saw-
family.
I immediately saw, I was like, oh, everyone else is going to die, aren't they? Like, once you meet the cast, and I'm like, you get A-list actor, and then who the fuck are these generic-ass white guys? I'm like,
Dead
you're all dead.
bodies. Yeah.
You're all dead.
The old father.
You're like me. You're just like looking at the cast
Kibble.
one. You're
They're
dead.
part of
You're,
the buffet.
yeah. You're chum. You're chum.
Yeah. I will say that though my wife and I didn't love it, there were some excellent scenes that are great on the big screen. And I'm sure, as I mentioned in our group text, that they're probably upset over at Universal. I think Universal does Jurassic, that they released that 1 week before Superman. I don't think anyone expected Superman to absolutely crush the way that it did.
Maybe, but I think they also probably realized, we can't even compete with that. Not only just during the opening weekend, but probably the following weekends. We got to take our money and try to get it as soon as possible.
Especially the rest of the summer, because you also have like Fantastic Four come out, and like there's
Yeah.
I know, July is
summer-
just nuts.
yeah, you gotta like, all right, we got the one weekend, let it go.
Yeah.
And you know what? I went on Thursday night
Mhm.
at 8 o'clock. And there was still a really good crowd in there. So
Not
I don't
the
know what
first
it-
Thursday, the opening, or the week later.
just like less than a week ago, 4 days
Okay.
ago,
Okay.
5 days
cool.
ago, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the box office numbers are, but there is still interest in it. And I recommend going to see it, especially if you like the dinosaurs and the Jurassic Park. Just turn your brain off and watch some people get chomped.
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
fun.
the fucking mosasaur sequence was insane. The Jaws shit on the water, like, holy fuck. Holy
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they I won't even say too much, but yeah, there are some interesting things that we haven't quite seen before.
Well, without going into spoilers, one, what was pretty neat was that, they go to this island where they've been doing interspecies breeding experiments. So the dinosaurs that you see are not like the traditional ones that were on Jurassic Park Island. These
Yeah.
are kind of oddities.
The rejects.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think that's
It's a way for them to make new toys.
Exactly. Well, yeah. I think that it's maybe they've taken that a little too far because the whole thing's been about cross-species genetics. From the beginning, they use like the frog DNA to fill in the blanks and the missing, right. Dino fossils or whatever. But like at one point during this one, Anne whispers in my ear, she's like, "What in the Stranger Things is this?"
You know what?
The creatures are starting to look less like dinosaurs at times.
But you know what? I mean, we're not far from that actually happening because they just brought back the dire wolf.
Yeah. Just said that. They're
That's
working
been
on a couple other
extinct
things.
for, I don't know, thousands of years.
Yeah.
And they brought it back. Obviously there's some DNA, cross-hatching and whatnot, but yeah, we're not far from that. That's
Can
possible.
I not rest in peace? You've got to bring me back to this fucked up time and world in the world.
Science don't give a fuck about what movie show is going to happen.
So this is a Bat Fanatic Friday. We're not going to go scene by scene because it's in the theater. I can't really take notes on that. We're just going to have a bit of a free-for-all here.
Sure.
Opening thoughts, first impressions. What was your experience?
Well, I love the fact that pretty much everything that you saw on the trailer was like the first scene. It's like they opened the movie with trailer.
I was relieved by that too.
I was like, oh, okay. So you can't really judge anything because this is just, he is involved in this off-screen fight, and now you get to see, okay, he's introduced himself. He's not this all godlike powerful being. That's the one thing that I liked about this movie is that he gets his ass kicked throughout this movie a lot.
Well, and that's weird because the text on the opening shot explains that metahumans have existed all this time, and then 3 years ago he announces himself as Superman and he's the most powerful one in the world, and today is the first time he's ever lost a battle. And so like we're thrust into the middle of his story. We're not doing the origin, which is great. And the first thing we see, much like the teaser, is him getting the snot kicked out of him, and he's, barely breathing, and he's got blood on his face. And I'm like, this is a fucking bold choice, dude. Like, to introduce not just our hero, but that hero, the ultimate superhero, like, beaten that badly is crazy to me.
Right.
Were you guys on board with that?
I didn't see Jurassic Park.
Stop, you fucker.
I've actually never seen any Jurassic Park.
Whoa, that's crazy.
So,
Gross.
That's a weird conversation.
He was already in his
that's the previous conversation. Sorry.
He was already in his mid-50s when the first one came out, and he was checked out.
I also didn't watch Return of the Joker either, which is what I thought we were going to be talking about.
No, that we were going to do that last week.
All right, good.
And
I didn't
got
watch
canceled.
that. I didn't do my homework.
Me neither. So we'll get there.
Okay. What did I watch? Oh, yeah, I watched Superman. So.
That's good.
On topic.
And we've got
one for three. We're good.
Yeah. What was your question?
That opening, that our introduction to this Superman is him like fucking wheezing and beat the fuck up.
Yeah.
He's like a wadded up napkin, just thrown onto the ground.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, right? I mean, it's,
Yeah, I'm the opening
they
scene.
they wanted to power him down a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm fine with that. The explanation in the beginning was, it's, I guess that's where we are as a fandom. Like, you gotta hold everybody's hand, and you gotta, put it in the box, and this is what it's gonna be, and I was like, all right, fine, because if not, people be speculating. And then everyone starts taking out calculators and doing math and stuff. He's been around, and then this and that, and then well, he can't be because the other movie is so and so. It's like, dude, just
Right.
enjoy.
If BVS had that little text on the screen of like, Bruce Wayne was an upstanding citizen and the a beacon of inspiration to the people in Gotham, and then a dark turn happened, and people are like, oh, I see. I understand now. And they wouldn't be going, why is he so mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because otherwise you would get, why is he beaten up? What I think is cool is that Superman throughout my lifetime has been the opposite of Batman. Batman's always played by a known actor. And we've had the fortune of pretty much every Superman that I've seen being a relative unknown. And this, once again, I mentioned on our last episode that, like, the photos and the little teasers, I was like, this almost looks like a Superman cosplay or something like that. It's weird. But within 5 minutes of the movie, I feel like I'm just looking at Superman. I'm not watching the actor because I'm not aware of his other work, and I'm just in the movie. And I think that's a good call. I think that's a smart move.
Yeah.
This is just me. I don't know why. Maybe it was because of the tone. But to me, there is still some of a resemblance. I kept seeing John Krasinski. I was like, I'm just watching John Krasinski as Superman the whole time. I don't know why.
He in? He was in one of the like X-Men. No, it was a Doctor Strange movie. He had like a cameo as a Marvel character. Can't remember who it was.
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, right. And then they ended up not using him in there.
Yeah.
How weird. But yeah, on the subject of the teasers and all that, I personally am tired of first looks and trailers and all of the rush just to be in the conversation. Like, we don't really get that with comic stuff where it's like, oh, here's a fucking crude drawing of a book that's going to be coming out in 3 years, and people go, oh, that looks stupid. I'm like, no shit, it's not fucking ready. It's a paparazzi photo from across the street, I thought the Batman looked stupid. The photos, way before we had a trailer.
Yeah. I was worried about that, yeah.
Right, and then we see it in action, and it's great. And I had the same thing here, and it's like, we look at these trailers, and at first glance, you get in the fucking Guy Gardner goofy-ass haircut. You're getting, like, Mr. Terrific and kaijus and all this stuff, and I was just like, man, this looks a little too zany for a Superman movie.
I know. I try to go in as blind as possible, but, you can't help it sometimes when you're just bombarded by social media posts, even if you're trying to swipe away as fast. But
or even if you just go to the movies, you're gonna have to sit
see
through
previews.
It, yeah.
And I was like, how is there a kaiju in Superman? What? Is this made for 4-year-olds? But you know what? The way that they did it, it's kind of fun. And yes, that part, I had a lot of kids at the theater. Some of them were even wearing their little Superman suits. No, they were fine. They were having fun. So,
sit your ass down.
What I loved is that they didn't have to explain where this kaiju came from. It just was there, and it just did its thing.
Yeah.
Can I ask you? Okay. Did it ever feel? And I don't mean this in a bad way, but did it ever feel a little bit like the world of Invincible?
No,
because I kind of felt like there's just shit happening and being thrown at us all the time, and like this world is vast and overpowered and crazy, and I just kept feeling like I'm reading Invincible in a good way.
It felt to me very James Gunny, very right there in synchronicity with everything that I've seen from him.
I don't think it's quite as snarky and quippy as his other movies, though.
Yeah.
And there's not as many needle drops either. Like they do use songs from pop culture, but I felt like he intentionally tried to rein in some of his,
Yeah.
more common indulgences.
That may have been, Warner Brothers kind of stepping in and saying, "Hey, we don't need so much strong language or something." And sometimes, it is a Superman movie. We want this family friendly. But
Well, what's interesting is James said the other day, because after I saw it, I was like, all right, I'm feeling good about it now. I can let go of some of my nervousness and some of my, resentment I had a little bit about how this came to be, because it's, a bit of an ugly history. And I started watching some of the press he's been doing, and DC Studios exists completely independent of Warner Brothers, and then Warner Brothers distributes the film for them. So he doesn't even report to them, which is nuts. I did not know that.
good.
And I thought that there was some talk about like, oh yeah, this will be the first Superman movie to not open with the WB logo. And I was like, that's fucking weird. But then to have him explain it later, I was like, oh, they literally had nothing to do with this until it was finished. Like, this is all him straight up to Zaslav.
Okay.
But yeah,
See, I didn't know that. I don't
I didn't know that either.
bureaucracy of corporate filmmaking these days. But
yeah.
To me, it kind of felt like kind of the way when you first watched the Shazam movie,
Yeah.
and also some Peacemaker. Spoiler alert! I love the cameos that were in there,
Yes, full spoiler episode. We always do that.
and that was cool to see. And you mentioned how there were some cameos. A lot of those, I found this article where there were cameos from many of the actors that he uses in a lot of his projects,
Yeah.
including his brother. So,
Oh,
that
who
was
did he
kinda
do?
funny.
Who did Sean Gunn do?
He was towards the end. He was on the news, I think
Maxwell
it was.
Lord.
Oh, right. He was Max Lord. I remember that. He's like getting into his limo or something.
Yeah, exactly. And Michael Rooker played. A lot of these people just played
Yes.
the robots.
And like
the
Alan
voices of the
Tudyk
robots.
voiced one of the robots. And I think, what's her name? Palm Klementov or something. She was Mantis in Guardians. She voiced one of them, I think.
She was one of them, right? Bradley Cooper that plays Rocket the raccoon. He was
Dude.
Jor-El.
The first 5 or 10 minutes when he gets hauled into the Fortress of Solitude and they're playing his parents up there, and I was like, that's fucking Bradley Cooper. Like, I couldn't believe that they didn't put that shit in the trailer, man. I was, or maybe they did and I missed that one, but I was stoked.
At first, I was like, "That's Bradley Cooper," and then the more you saw him, I was like, "Maybe it's not," but it's a guy that looks really close to him.
It's got the hologram effect. You're like, is it?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That was a shocker.
Right.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool. But going back to what you said about feeling like a James Gunn film, what I took away from it was, oh, right, like that feeling of this guy always gets me to care about these C-list characters that I'm not familiar with, or he always gets me to care about this wacky scenario that, like, I would have no reason to relate to, but at the end of the day, he's a good storyteller. And like Ben Polanski used to say, it shouldn't matter what it's about or what you know coming into it. Like, if you can write a good story, it can be about anything. And I think James is that guy.
100%. I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth, because I have never liked Guy Gardner in my life. I loved him in this. This was like the perfect role, and I love Nathan Fillion doing it. It was so funny. I
feel about Green Lantern about the same as I feel about Daredevil, which is like, this is kind of a silly character. Like, his existence to me is like, that's the dorkiest power I've ever heard of. And so again, it felt a little bit like how Invincible is reverent for the superhero world, but also doesn't take it that seriously. Like, you're not making fun of the guy, but, you know, he's we all know he's a little ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I mean,
they're like, that's the best thing you could come up, and yeah. So I like the way they played it, and again, he succeeds at making me care about characters I'm either unfamiliar with or not interested in at all. So
can we talk about Mr. Terrific?
Oh
Yes.
man,
That's
Dude.
the movie I saw. That's the movie
Dude.
I saw, guys. I don't know what you
That's
guys
the
saw.
movie
but
I
I saw
saw,
Mr.
too.
Terrific. Man, when it was like, who is he? The smart one. I was like, let's fucking go. I was losing my shit with the 9
Dude.
people in that movie theater at 9:10 in the morning.
I'm just
yeah,
like,
you went at the grandma hour, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
Crazy.
No one else is there. The way I like it. No kids.
yeah, yeah, man. I think he needs his own movie. I loved it. I was just like,
Give
dude,
that
this-
man a show,
oh my gosh,
his own movie. Like,
he was so cool,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
cool. And Hot Girl, oh my gosh, she was awesome. I loved it.
I feel like terrific because I'm not that familiar with again some of these characters that are maybe outside of Gotham, right? So he reminded me a lot of Cyborg in terms of the way they used his character, what he was doing, a lot of the technological stuff.
He's kind of like a cyborg Batman type of guy, right? He's
Right.
the smartest one in the room,
yeah.
and he's kind of got that alpha
Just
attitude.
prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's cocky enough to call himself Mr. Terrific, and everything has a T on it,
I saw that jacket was based on a Alex Ross cover. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I was surprised when I saw that. I was like, holy shit, they really stayed faithful to this.
I don't know about you guys, but I was cracking up with the garage door scene.
Oh,
Oh,
I thought
when
that
it
was
that
hilarious.
was, dude. It's like,
she's like, you got the money for a spaceship, but this is your fucking garage door. I don't know. There were a couple little gags that
Yeah.
I felt didn't work on me, and that was one of them actually. But
Oh man,
No, I liked it, Grumps.
it felt like a Pixar kind of gag or something. It just,
Yeah, that's why it worked.
It's I guess.
it was needed. So needed.
One thing
I'm not
that's
a big James Gunn fan, like of his other movies or the
Yeah.
superhero ones anyway. I, could really care less about Guardians, and I mean the first one was good, and then I did not like the Suicide Squad at all, on any level. I would never watch it again.
wow. That's
Yeah.
okay. Clearly not
Yeah.
going to talk you out of that one. So all right.
No. But I mean, this was again, each film is its own thing, right? Or, should be to the viewer anyway. So yeah, I didn't take any of that into this movie with me.
When I thought about and like as I'm watching it and kind of seeing where the story is going, and when I thought about, the hype around this movie and wondering like, well, people really seem to like this. I think they're gonna like it, but it was like, Zack Snyder and James Gunn kind of pitted against each other in terms of their movies lately, as this is coming up because of the Cavill controversy and James's involvement in that. But they're friends in real life, and I'm watching this going, he's taking story beats from BVS, like the whole thing. Like Lois is grilling him in that interview about he
That was
shouldn't have gotten
hilarious.
involved in the overseas conflict. You shouldn't have done all that. I was like, that's the exact plot of the other movie. Like, that's what they have a fucking hearing about with Holly Hunter
Yeah.
as the senator. Like, that's what all that shit is. And I'm like, James Gunn is just straight up like taking this stuff and like going, I'm telling you guys, this tastes good. Here, just try it with a little different seasoning. I'm telling you, it's going to go down smooth. And I'm like, this works. This works great. But he
No,
doubled
yeah.
down on it.
He doubled down on it, and I loved it because he was just all like, he was basically giving a nod to Zach, and also putting Superman really in a modern setting, because I don't know if we really saw that in Christopher Reeve's Superman, where there were consequences to all the things that he did. You know, he was just this esteemed being that could do everything and did everything right, and nobody held him accountable for what happened.
Yeah.
That's not society today. Everybody likes to point fingers at everybody today. And
I blame you for most things.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. And that's
All the thing.
if this guy did something like that, that's exactly what I would expect would happen. And so, yeah, he doubled down on it, and I love the chemistry between the two actors going at it, because it was hilarious, because they were actually had already established that they were in a romantic relationship. Now we're seeing her flip and be like interrogating him, putting him.
Yeah, and I think it was you who had mentioned this before, that in Man of Steel, it's like, oh, she already knows his identity, like before, like when we're introduced to him in the first movie, right? She knows Clark. She worships Superman in this romantic kind of way, and then later has to discover it in the second movie, and that's the whole thing. And in Man of Steel, it was not the case at all. It was just like, it was like she knows the whole thing all along, right? Before they're romantically involved. And then in this one, it takes it a step further, and it's like, not only does she know who he is, and they're already involved, and we're just dropping you right into the world. And that's cool to me.
Yeah, this movie actually, I mean, it could have been like the sequel to Man of Steel, but kind of in a more lighthearted tone, obviously. But as far as like a timeline, if people want to think about it like that, but I love that. Like what you said, he took some beats from BVS, he took some beats from Man of Steel, and all this stuff.
Well, and think about the controversy of Man of Steel with the destruction of Metropolis and all that. And you're like, have you seen the old ones, right? Dude, they ripped the motherfucking city in half in this movie.
They tried to rip the world apart.
I know. And people walked away going, that was fucking awesome.
No one's complaining about that. Yeah.
And I just love it. Like, he was able to take some of these things that were controversial in the past and go, yeah, we're going to do that, though. And we're going to do it in our way.
Yeah, yeah. And I wanted to kind of piggyback or kind of circle back around, because I know when we reviewed Man of Steel, there was, some opinions, and we all talked about how, it was very polarizing whenever he killed Zod, snapped his neck. And then I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? He killed Zod in Superman 2 as well.
Yeah, threw him down the fucking pit.
Let him drown. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. But
even
anyway.
Lois did, too.
Yeah.
Knocked out
but
Ursa.
But yeah, this was a... I like that interaction with the way that she basically put him on the ropes as a, really, she to me was more of a Lois Lane than Amy Adams. I'm sorry. She had the look, she had the attitude. I loved her portrayal.
Amy Adams aside, in terms of casting, I was most excited for Rachel Brosnahan's.
Me too. Yeah,
she is great, and she remains great in this role. I lived up to everything that I hoped for in terms of her performance.
Oh yeah, I liked it a lot.
In regards to that scene where she interrogates him or interviews Superman, this is the difference here with Clark and Snyderverse Clark is
his demeanor is way different.
This is the country Clark. This is Kansas country bumpkin Clark. I don't think we see that. We definitely don't see that. Because he had no idea. And he knows her. He's dating her. He works with her in this gun universe. So he knows her. Yeah. And he thought, oh, she's, it's my girlfriend. She's going to softball me as Superman. And then,
yeah. He's like, oh, she just wants the credit. You know,
Yeah.
like she just wants, you know, to get her name in the article. Like,
Yeah.
no.
And she
And
goes
his
all city
country ass
reporter
was
on him.
like-
And
Yeah.
he's like, what? You know what? I mean,
His
watching
country
this
ass was
movie,
not prepared for that.
no.
Well, she was
No.
also he always interviewed himself, right? So
Yep.
he never gave an interview to anyone else.
Yeah.
So him interviewing himself, of course, is going to be like, I'm going to give myself some soft questions,
It's very Peter
Yeah.
Parker.
you know, and then it's like, all right, cool. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to give you an interview. She's like, oh, right now? Yeah, right now. Let's do
Yeah.
this. And he's thinking, all right, I'm used to interviewing myself, so great. This girl loves me, or I love her. Well,
That's
that
my
happened later
girlfriend.
on.
Yeah.
She's not going to be that hard on me. And then he was like, wait a minute. What
And
the
she's
hell?
ready
Yeah.
on the spot,
Are you
man.
On
serious?
the
No
spot,
hesitation.
she goes full
Like,
big time journalist on him.
full reporters like this, you know, this is on the record. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, it's not. Well, you have to say it's not on the record. And it was like that whole thing. It's like,
Well, I think there's a bit of jealousy there too,
Yes.
because he gets to interview Superman,
Yeah.
which is obviously a big deal, you know.
She's putting him in his place a little bit for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Just
these are the
that-
questions people will actually ask Superman, not the ones that you've been fucking
Exactly.
answering.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, when I was watching that scene, of course, you know, here we are. We know that we're watching this, going to have to talk about on the podcast. So sometimes it kind of puts us out of just enjoying a movie. But I was watching that scene and I was like, that right there is why Cavill was not cast. Just to pull off that one scene right there. I don't know if he had the chops. And all respect to Henry, because, you know, me and him are bros. We both have Frenchies, and you know, mad respect. But I don't know if he could pull off the way that Gunn wanted this portrayal to be.
I don't
Now,
think
I'm
so.
not upset at the different imaginations at play and the different versions that we get to enjoy. But I did feel like this Clark losing his cool numerous times in the movie, but especially in this scene with the interview, I was kind of shocked because I'm very used to Cavill and Reeve,
Yeah.
who are very composed and, you know, almost stoic at times. And so when you talk about like, I don't know if he's got the range, because like he was playing a totally different Clark than this. Like, you know, when Lois is giving him shit in BVS, he deflects it and tries to be romantic and like kind of dodges the, you know, the questions a little bit. And I think there's another scene where she's kind of pushing him on some things and he gets a little frustrated, but he's not raising his voice and like pacing around the room. Like this was a shock to me.
No,
Yeah.
but the point of this film, and it even brings it back at the end when he gives his final, you know, big speech to Lex Luthor, is that it shows him, it humanizes him. He
Yes.
has
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
feelings that can be hurt, you know. He's pissed off whenever the world turns against him.
I think every
Yeah.
choice made in this movie is to humanize him. From
Yes.
that
Yeah.
first shot of him with his ass kicked, to him having Crypto the dog, to, you know,
Saving the squirrel.
him being a little more emotional. Yes,
Yeah.
the
Saving the squirrel.
that was a Shazam shot for sure. I loved that. Loved it. I thought of Lisa Mancini right there.
If I could save a squirrel, I would, but those motherfuckers are fast. homie.
Yeah.
They are.
Not as fast as him.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But like the main thing during that scene that stuck to me was, you know, Lois was asking all these questions like, did you talk to so and so before you did this? Did you talk to this and that? Did you go through all these hoops that everyone else has to go through?
Mhm.
No, you just made a decision. But when he said, he's like, because people were going to die. There's
Yeah.
nothing else more important to him.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do. At that moment, it's like, that was the decision I had to make because people were going to die. If I have to act like you guys do, people will die. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's where you saw the humanity in him because you saw the emotions, but then you saw that, no, I'm actually up here, dude, because like, I don't want to abide by the same rules that you guys do because people will die if I don't. And then when you go
Yeah.
into like the whole message that he got from his parents, the ones that he heard in the beginning, or not the one that was faked afterwards, we're going to say that's fake news. But in the beginning, it was like, you come here, you're going to save these people, they're going to love you. and you're going to do everything possible to save humanity. You have the power to do it. And that's pretty much why he was so angry, because it's like, why do you want me to act like you when I'm this person and I can save people without having to go through these hoops?
And I'm pretty sure, I'm looking this up in the background right now, but in that scene where he does get frustrated in BVS and Lois is in the bathtub and he kind of deflects and tries to be romantic, that's the exact line that he says. People were going to die. Like, I'm trying to find it right now, but it's very similar in both films, but again, just played in very different ways. And so I think it's cool that tonally these are much different movies and they have different intentions, but they still view the character in similar ways, you know?
Yeah. That was a great scene.
There were some repeated gags from other movies that I noticed, like the other conversation where Lois and Superman are in the apartment and they're like kissing in the fucking crazy monster fight going in the background. He's like, they got that covered. But that was very James Gunn, Guardians 2, like the beginning where Groot's dancing and they're all fucking fighting the big monster in the background. And
yeah.
Crypto beating up Lex mid-sentence towards the end is very Hulk and Loki, you know, with the I'm a god, you infantile, you know, puny god, you know, that whole thing. Kaiju eyeball gouging, that was straight out of the Suicide Squad. You know, they're like pulling his eyelids and then boop, 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 like all that shit. And sure enough, how does Harley take down Starro? It's like with the javelin through the eyeball and shit. And I'm like, oh, that's a gross thing to reprise, but okay. But I'm sure there's more little nods that he did or maybe familiar things in his bag of tricks. But again, the fact that he resisted so many of the most common ones is very interesting to me.
Yeah.
I like.
Did you guys see it all once? Does everyone see it once?
I saw it
just
once.
once.
I want to see it again.
Yeah, I just watch the first time for fun, and then I watch it again so I can really try to analyze it. And I didn't have a chance, so this is just kind of first viewing for all of us. Initial take.
I like that in this movie, Superman actually has to be saved himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's happened before in other movies, but you know it was a great way to pull in all the other characters, the Justice Gang, and I love the fact that we actually got to see the Hall of Justice.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's pretty
supposedly
cool.
that building that they shot at was the original like model used to draw the Hall of Justice in the comics when it was introduced, and that's why they shot it there.
Oh, okay.
Where is it located?
I want to say that was in Chicago. I don't know. They filmed in a few different cities, but I was pretty sure this was on the Dax Shepard interview that James Gunn did. He talked about filming locations.
Okay. Well, it looked awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
And
it looks
then
so
inside
perfect.
it just looks kind of like an empty office building, and you're like,
Pretty
"Oh,
much. A couple of
Not that-
couches.
not that impressive." But
What do you guys think of the... This is one of the only things that I've heard criticism about. What do you think of the twist when Lex Luthor recovers the rest of the video from the House of L? You know, where they're telling him, you know, you come to this planet and blah blah blah, and then there's this nefarious other half that he's never heard. What do you guys think of that?
that was my, and I was going to bring this up in our final ratings, but that was the one thing that I was like, I was expecting the big exposure at the end that revealed also that was all fake by Lex Luthor. And here's the real footage where they took just certain snips out of context, but here was the real full message that would have, shown the world so that, they could put all their love and faith back into Superman. That's what I was waiting on. It never happened.
Too.
Well, and they said, they had, I think, 5 different people say, we checked it and it's real. Even, I think, Mr. Terrific said, it's real. And so at that point, I'm like, I'm not sure that twist is coming because they go out of their way.
But again, it could also be
real fake.
taken out of context.
Well, they go out of their way to make you understand, like, yeah, this is what they said.
Well,
Yeah,
I was
that
with
part.
Grants on that. I was still not buying it.
I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah, but I guess like if you do buy it, it's more like, all right, you can have shitty parents and still be a good person.
Yeah.
Exactly. Breaking the cycle.
But my that part, I was so it was early in the film. I was so angry because I'm like, he was just part of the Justice Gang saving everyone, and then everyone looks at their phones and like, all right, he just saved us. Oh no, now he hates you, and it's like,
Yeah, I know.
Because of
That
his
was-
dad?
because it was like, but then it's like it just shows you how society is. Like it was so quick to cancel things. Like the moment we hear something, whether it's fake or not, and regardless who it comes from, everyone's opinion just changes like that.
You
And I
think
was
that's James Gunn's commentary on getting fired from Marvel and then going over to write this movie?
like, probably?
It could be, and I mean, I think it was also everything in this movie is a mirror that he's holding up to the world's
Yeah,
Yeah.
and pointed back. And the people that are offended by this movie, it's because they don't like looking at their own ugliness.
Yeah.
And
100%.
that
That's
message
why I took
right
down
there
all
was
the mirrors in
basically-
my house.
I
I don't
know,
like
well,
it either. It's.
uh,
I'm sorry we're
you know-
doing a video episode, guys.
showing how the media can twist things up and get everything twisted. But
We're an individual. It just takes one person to make a post,
yeah,
and
yeah.
one person's life gets destroyed
Yeah.
or whatever. And it's like, wow. It's that part I was like extra angry because I was like, oh god, this is too close to reality. Although I'm watching a Superman film, it's like, oh, this is so frustrating. And I felt at that moment, I was like, is this something wrong with the movie? And I'm like, am I looking for something wrong, or did I get like, am I going through my emotional roller coaster of this film? And but then after that, I found, and then I'm like, all right, I'm not looking for something wrong. I just feel a certain way because that shit pisses me off from reality.
When I
Yeah.
liked that twist because it subverts expectations, and sometimes you can do that and feel like, why the fuck? Come on, And that one just felt like, again, coming back to Invincible, it was like, oh, they did the Omni-Man twist. Like, that's cool. That's cool. I like that, actually. And it shocked me, and it kept me engaged because I expected the, Russell Crowe, Marlon Brando sermon to continue, and I also expected that was fake at first, and then after they say it for like the third time, I'm like, oh goddamn, that's real. I'm like, that's crazy. And I love when a filmmaker will do something that's a little bit outrageous or might push people's buttons, but commits to it. They don't undo it and make it easier to swallow. And that's one of those things where he stuck by it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
The one thing that I loved or liked about that was the fact that they were speaking Kryptonian, not English.
It's translated.
Yeah, exactly. Because Kryptonians aren't going to speak a language developed here on Earth.
Well, you talked about how you wish they looked a little different, and I think this at least sells it that they speak differently.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a start.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kryptonians, how do you guys feel about Ultraman? Did you?
I don't think I've ever
early
read
on?
Ultraman in a comic before, so I wasn't. I had no preconceptions of this character, and I liked how he was used.
Ultraman was part of that Forever Evil story. Right?
Yeah,
Where
that was obviously a different Ultraman. They come from Earth, whatever.
Okay. That's the only Ultraman I've ever read, so I kind of already knew. I knew he was kind of a black, not the dark side of Superman.
Yeah.
Being that Lex Luthor was the main villain, I also was suspicious that this was going to be our Bizarro.
Yeah.
And I hope if they do a sequel, he actually comes back and is the Bizarro that, would be kind of cool.
Well, when they walked up to the Fortress of Solitude and walked
He
right
walks
in,
right in. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
That was the
okay,
biggest
he's
hint.
got to be a Kryptonian underneath
He's
that.
Kryptonian, yeah.
Yeah.
All I
Apparently
know
we-
is I want that action figure of whatever that thing was he was at the beginning of that suit of armor that beat him up. I was like, that is badass.
Did you
Yeah.
guys like the reveal that he was a clone?
Made
I knew
sense.
he was a clone.
Yeah, it made sense because like he's like, you know, I got some of your DNA, and like he found a piece of hair somewhere. He's like, after all our fights and all this stuff, I looked over all this crap, blah blah, and found a piece
Yeah.
of your hair, and I'm like, and that's what we're doing right now with that wolf.
Dunk's just like,
And
"Dire wolf!"
now we're back to
Dire wolf!
Jurassic Park. Thank you. Perfect.
So in that scene,
part
was 3 dinosaurs.
made sense to me, but I didn't like that it was a clone. I would have preferred if it was Bizarro underneath there, or he had turned to Bizarro.
That would have been sick.
Yeah.
That would have been sick.
I just like the fact that, how they were feeding him like fight moves to do. I
Yeah,
was
he's like,
Yeah.
R8, 06.
It's like a video
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
06.
And I was like-
damn, dude.
and Lex's staff, they're all
One
like,
A, 1A, 1A,
Yeah, yeah.
1A, 1A.
and I was like, you know what? Superman cannot fight. He's not a good fighter. He needs to go to a gym and learn how to fight.
Well, I love that Lex not being the physical foil for Superman, that he can still do the fight himself in a way with a
Yeah.
proxy,
Right.
And this is like the most involved we've seen him in a physical confrontation like that, aside from like putting the kryptonite around his neck and punching him in the stomach or something. Like this is I don't know, a cool twist on it.
Right.
It made so much sense, like, what Dunk said about the hair thing, and also that they studied him and they studied his fighting style, and he's obviously, right, he's the best superhero around.
What?
But he's not like this fighter. He's again, at the heart, he's a kid from Kansas, and he's gonna punch his way, kick and eye beams,
Yeah,
He's not
and
gonna kung fu a fight.
yeah, because usually he doesn't have to, and up until this
Exactly.
point, he clearly didn't.
He doesn't have to. He never trained for it.
But when he goes up
Exactly.
against someone of equal strength that knows how to fight, you can see he gets his butt kicked. And, I mean,
Exactly.
Gramps was loving that.
I was loving it. I was like,
hit him
oh,
again.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, throw him through a jukebox.
Hit him in the nuts.
No, I mean, again, it kept you interested as just a viewer because you're like, that's Superman. He's supposed to win every fight. No, he's getting his butt kicked. How's he going to figure a way to, win?
And it's
what's
sort of
the
like
twist here?
It's a Rocky movie, where you're like,
Yeah.
he's going to win the fight, but how?
You got to watch the whole battle, homie.
And then
was
he kind of
rough.
had to flip a switch. And even in this movie, he kills. He uses his laser beams to kill all those flying minions that were coming in. He cut some of those dudes in half.
Oh, right.
That was something that really confused me, because they showed the part with the teeth, and it looked like there was human beings in these suits or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he starts to
were.
laser everybody, and then they fall to the ground. It looks like robots. I'm like, I don't
Unless
get
they were
what-
clones too, right? Unless
I
you
don't
the
know.
If
army of
Superman
clones.
punches somebody, I mean, their head is going off their neck.
Yeah. Unless you have
Oh.
a suit. Apparently.
Yeah.
But hey, so what'd you guys think of what's his name that did Lex Luthor?
Nicholas Hoult. Yeah, I was going to ask you guys. There were times when I felt like I wanted a little more Kevin Spacey out of him, because he's going a little more classic comic Luthor, right?
Yeah.
And there were like, I don't know. I can't remember the specific scenes now because it's been a few days since I saw it. But there were a couple of times where I was like, I want to see him like get real vicious though. Like I know this Lex could do it, but
I thought he did go when he shot that guy in the
Yeah,
head.
when he shot that dude, homie.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Whoa.
I didn't expect this to happen so soon.
No.
yes, I wanted more of like if he's gonna go there and they're gonna show you how fucking gnarly he is, then like let's go there,
He went. He
I
built
did not like
portals.
Lucicorp.
Instead of LexCorp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. It's just a nitpick.
Yeah. I think it was a solid performance,
Yeah.
but didn't blow me away like, say, Michael
Agreed.
Shannon in our last episode,
What I thought was weird was, at the end of the film when, they exposed how he was the mastermind behind the war and, the traitor and all this stuff.
Yeah, thanks to those selfies, homie.
They didn't
Yes.
show. I mean,
I
they
liked
just kind of
that.
had him being casually led to this military-esque Humvee to be taken away. I mean, you would expect them to have him handcuffed and perp walked and loaded into a max security vehicle. He just kind of walked himself and got in, and I was like, "Are they going to let him go? What's going on here?"
He's bought off the Congress, he's going to get out of it.
He
Pretty
owns the
much,
military.
yeah.
Dave, you
I
mentioned the
think-
selfies thing. Can I? Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead, go.
The fucking Jimmy Olsen character
Yo,
in this
he'd be swinging.
being so annoyed with this gorgeous woman's personality that he can't even bring himself to be like, yes, we can get together this week. And I was like, are you kidding, man? Come on.
That was
After
like
the
a
first or
pose.
second time, I was like, all right, come on. You're doing this for a purpose. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was like super stoked, and then it was like, we gotta go out this weekend. He's like, how long?
Yeah.
So, come
The
on.
whole weekend. Do you really want this shit or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you're trying
His
to take down
hesitation was
Luther.
it's a little
just
bullshit to me, but
I just thought it was kind of funny how ultimately Lex Luthor's fall and greatest weakness was the inability to see. He always had to have that, ditzy girl with him, right?
Mhm.
Even in the original series,
she's his
and
arm
they-
candy.
arm candy.
For
Yeah,
status.
exactly. But he overlooked how she was actually, could have been his biggest ally, but turned into his, Achilles heel because he treated her so bad. He even threw a pencil at her.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, that was it.
ultimately, that was the fall of, his control. And because after that, she started feeding the information. But I was like, you treat someone so bad, you overlook them like that, and it's going to come back. Carmen's a bitch.
The former selfies.
But yeah, but
Well,
it
she was
just
really
kinda cool.
smart because
Yeah.
like we joked, okay, yeah, the ditzy sidekick or whatever, but like she seemed intentional about this. Like when I saw her taking that picture of herself in the trailer, and I was like, okay, that's an interesting Miss Tessmacher, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then
Exactly.
when she's
Yeah.
doing it at all of the various crimes, I was like, oh no, she is right in front of his face building a case
Documentation.
against him.
Yeah.
And that's her out, that's her get out of jail free
And he
card.
didn't
if
even
she-
see it.
if she ever needs it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He was
that's
so
His ego.
he's so stuck on going after Soups that
Mhm.
he didn't
Yeah.
recognize that his biggest weakness was right there.
yeah.
Just
I thought
like
that,
how
that was cool. She was
in-
clever.
Was it the original movie one where he overlooked Miss Schumacher and she's the one that actually took the kryptonite off his neck when he was drowning in the
Yeah, because she's like, my mom lives in Hoboken. And he's
Yeah.
like, fucker.
yeah, he didn't care enough about her, and she turned out to be, his end.
Biggest
So,
downfall. Yeah.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's actually a good parallel that she
that's
was
why
his
my
undoing.
thing
in
says the
first
voice
movie.
of reason down here.
I see. Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, we didn't get to see it in neither universe. I thought there was an arc there for that Lex Luthor, and I think there's an arc here as well. And I think, however many Superman movies they do, they gotta bring him back in the various incarnations.
I hope so.
With the fighting suit or the President
Hell
Luthor,
yeah.
or
I could
and
see
you could
this
have
one
a,
being
like
the
a
President
sub
Luthor.
villain to physically whatever with Superman. But
You could definitely see him kind of figure out a way to bring back Ultraman and turn him into that Bizarro
Yeah.
type character. Yeah, exactly. That'd be cool.
So we talked about his parents and the video. One of my favorite things in the whole movie was that really heartwarming twist at the very end when they're bringing him in.
Heartwarming?
And, yes, heartworm. The heartwarming moment where you hear number 4, who likes to be called Gary, when we hear him say, put on the video of his parents, it's comforting to him or whatever. And that's the same line he used in the beginning, right? And that's when we saw the Kryptonian parents. And now it's the Kents. And it's all these old home movies of them. And I thought that was just perfect. Again, if this whole movie goes from trying to squash the distance between this alien and his humanity, right? You know, that to me was like the I don't want to say the nail in the coffin, but like the cherry on top, right?
I was almost crying,
dude,
the first time they showed Martha Kent over the phone.
Over the phone?
I was howling because
that was funny.
That is my mom.
Oh,
that is literally
yelling at the speakerphone.
I was like, oh my God. How did they know? How did they know? So perfect.
And Jonathan
That's
Kent's
hilarious.
like yelling stuff. Tell him this and that. And he's like, I can hear you.
Yeah.
And she's like, he said.
Oh my God. I about
man.
fell out of my chair.
That was funny.
How about like how about the prison that he pretty much had? Like how wild
Dude, the pocket
was
universe?
that?
Yes.
Even like he had his ex-girlfriend in there.
Diabolical.
Like anyone who like tweeted against him or something, it was like, whoop, you're in here now.
Dude.
Like what?
Totally agree. That was
And the
rad.
monkeys?
And the monkeys.
Hashtag super shit. Hashtag super shit.
Yeah,
The
and he was like, when
monkeys
he's
being-
when he's just sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, you're hashtag super shit."
Yes.
And again, parallel to modern times in the United
Exactly.
States.
Yeah, that's the surrogate for bots, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Exactly what it is. But
Yeah.
then how angry the monkeys were was funny because I know you just see them like, "Ah," like just pissed off. And
It
then back to
reminds me
typing.
of, wasn't that in The Simpsons? Didn't they have like a room of angry smoking, like cigarette smoking monkeys on typewriters? It reminded me of that. But I really liked Metamorpho.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I love that dude. What's his name? David. I'll look it up. But I loved him on Barry. And
Okay. Yeah,
he
he was
also
great on
played
Barry.
Oh, shit, good
Victor
call.
Zsasz in Gotham. I liked him in that role too.
Damn, he's
but-
always got to be ugly, huh?
I thought this was great. I thought this was great for him in that
Anthony Kerrigan.
Kerrigan. Yeah. Okay. I was way off. I was thinking like David. It's like it's not David Carradine. Anthony Kerrigan. Okay, but yeah, I loved him in that Lex uses him as a weapon, to kind of hold Superman hostage with kryptonite, and he's like, dude, I could save your fucking kid. He's like, shut the fuck up. And he's like, wait, you can,
Yeah.
And he planted that seed, and that was enough, and
Well, it was after he shot the guy first. Like after the guy got shot, he was like, he started crying.
because he felt like it was his responsibility.
Yeah.
Like he let that happen, by holding Superman at bay. And
I like the fact that
even the
they
side
show the
characters,
effect of the physical effect of kryptonite on him.
Yeah, because he got poisoned.
Plus, he was out of the sun, and it was just like he was like just basically decaying.
it's the best place to do it to him,
Yeah, that was a crazy scene because as he get in there and you see all the tons of people who are against Luthor Corp or whatever the case, and even his ex-girlfriend, like all these people were there. And then when he decides to help Superman to help him get a son, and he becomes a son, where everyone starts like ratting him out. I'm like, yo, can you just kill everyone too? Because I was like, at that moment, I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can't do that. Someone,
they're
look what
scared,
he's
man.
doing.
They're trying to save themselves.
I was like, damn, dude. And that's another thing. Snitches.
Oh, I was thinking more so like the Pocket Universe prison is like his alligator Alcatraz,
I was going to say that earlier, but
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy. But it is.
Yeah. There was a lot of
Theory.
there was you know,
A lot of
Israel
modern day
Palestine
symbolism.
thing happening
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
In the
interesting
movie.
too.
That's another crazy scene.
Yeah.
But it was cool when he was in the Pocket universe where Terrific and Lois or they're like, all right, this was the last steps. This is where we saw him last night. They just land, and then it's like, who is he? The smart one. And it's like, and that fighting scene was just
Yeah.
epic. That was so solid, and I was already like, man, Terrific's dope.
No,
that
he
fighting
was.
scene happened. And I'm like, damn, he's triple O dope, homie. Like, damn, I
Yes.
could watch this all damn day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to
Well,
watch. I
like,
want to watch a movie with him so bad.
He pulled like a Arkham Origins type thing where he recreated the crime scene and showed where they led Superman through the.
Yeah.
Oh, that was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was holding the R2 button and the L2 button.
Dude, I was laughing though because when he had those little orbs up and fucking Crypto flies by and steals it. Oh my god!
The
That
moment I
cracked me
saw
up.
there were like the little orbs or the circles, as Lois call them. No, they're spears.
Right.
I was just like, yo, Crypto's if Crypto shows up, Crypto's gonna fucking taste some balls.
Like dog toys. Yep.
And that was just perfect because even like in the Pocket universe, where like,
You see the drones.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're trying to find each other, and Crypto's like just staring at it, and it's like, oh no.
I just love when they call back to it, you know, and he's got those. He's like, wait, this is how you can see us, and he's like, Crypto, get the toy. I'm like, yes.
I like how Crypto was just a wild animal. He no control over him. He was just
Yeah.
Did you guys know
That's-
about Crypto going into the movie?
yeah.
Yeah, because
I
they.
didn't know.
Oh wow, you really don't watch fucking.
You didn't watch the first trailer?
anything.
No. I knew Crypto was in the movie. I didn't
Not like
know
that.
it wasn't a real dog. Like
Oh, you talking about
Oh,
CGI?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. They
Yeah, he
CGI'd
was-
him.
Well,
the whole
they
thing. I thought there'd be a
scanned.
stand-in. You know.
No, they like scanned his dog and then they
Yeah.
recolored him and animated him. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I learned that throughout the movie. I was like, whoa.
But yeah, I mean, he was
that's a
basically.
well-trained dog. No, it's not.
No, he was like Rocket. You know, he's Rocket Raccoon. But I think that it was great. And when they first announced it, I probably said on this show where I was like, you're going to do what? You know? But again, James Gunn is not only great with animals in his movies, but he also just makes me care about these things that are goofy comic book things, goofy ass shit. And as soon as I saw that first trailer, I was like, all right, I'm seeing it for the dog.
Well, that's what my friend that I went to the theater and saw it with. We both
Levi
walked out
has a
there.
name, okay? He's been on the show. Shout him out. Be a friend.
So he
Levi,
paid.
my best buddy, Levi.
Not the jeans.
Didn't know if we were going there or not, but yeah, my buddy Levi. We both walked out there and we felt like we really just watched a comic book.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really what it felt like. I mean, they did a great job of guiding you through a live action comic book, which
It
you
felt
can't
a
really
little
say
bit
that with a lot of superhero movies.
It reminded me of some of the Jeff Loeb Superman Batman stuff where it's just like every issue is crammed with characters and you know the universe just feels huge, you know, this world in terms of like the bench of heroes and villains, like, you know, people are popping up all over the place, and I don't know, it reminded me of what that felt like.
Yeah, you get it, but you know, just because of the way it started, you know, like typically the first movie of anything is always really slow starting, and it's like character building and universe building, and the fact that it was like 3,000 years,
Yep.
3 centuries ago, 3 decades ago, 3 minutes ago, now we're here,
Yeah.
and it's like, all right, cool. So we're in the middle of the shit, and we're going to learn who everyone else is throughout the movie, which we did, and that was actually fun. It was very different.
Yeah.
But then it's like similar to what happened in the Marvel universe. Now you go back and build these characters with their, you know, with whatever their origins are. So it's like now you could do the TV show or the movie let's have a Terrific, let's have a Hawk Girl,
Yeah.
let's have a guy show that's being talked about for Green Lantern already. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
cool. All right, we could go backwards, and now
Yeah.
you already showed everyone how cool these characters are. Now we get to know them a little more because now we're all interested. Because like I can't wait for a Terrific movie or a show.
Yeah.
The moment they mentioned that, I'm in.
I made that
Yeah.
same
2 tickets.
observation to my wife because I saw it and then she saw it a couple days later, and I was like, it feels like a sequel. Like they did a really good job of just throwing you right in, and then kind of like
Well,
they
like
did
I said,
with Batman
it could have
and
BVS,
BVS.
been a Man
like,
of Steel sequel.
right.
Exactly.
And
Could've
they
been.
like they throw you in like with an older Batman and BVS, and then they give you certain flashbacks that establish the character. And in this one, it's similar. Like they go and they give you the connection to his parents in that video, and then there's enough that feels like you're learning who this guy is and what he's about, and you're seeing his growth in this movie, even at this later stage. You don't really need all that other shit, and you just get thrown in to the mix, and I love that too, Dave.
And that's why I felt like a comic book, because there was so much going on, and it was like, all right, wow, that was only 10 minutes. I don't even know how many minutes it was because I never looked at my watch. I was so invested in the movie, and then I was like, at the end, same thing. I was like, wow, I think this movie did exactly what it was supposed to do. I can't wait for there to be more. And then the feeling of hope, I guess, because since they touched on so much real world situations or things that are currently happening, it's like the one thing that everyone was looking for is hope. And like walking out of that movie, I was like, wow, I felt hopeful walking out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one thing I have hope for is that I think this DC EU that Gunn is building gives us a solid possibility of seeing maybe a live action Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Which, that's another kind of
It's been overdue.
C level character that's overdue, but could be an awesome, character in this universe and with these other characters.
Yeah.
He'd fit just right in.
I thought about him too. That would be real cool.
Or maybe they'll just do what Snyder did and just pretend that he was one of these other people all along, Like, see, look, he changed form. But you didn't know the whole time. And like, yeah, neither did you, because the actor didn't know until the reshoots. Now,
Well, maybe in the Green Lantern show.
we talked about Dave was just saying that the movie flew right by. And if I am to introduce the pros portion of the show, I want to start with pacing, because there was a lot of characters, there's a lot of shit going on, but the movie never drags, and you still care about the characters, you care about the danger, and the stakes feel like you're bought into it, and it just never wastes a minute.
Yeah. I didn't have time to look at my phone or watch. I legit, even like the slowest part, I think, was when he flew into Lois's apartment and you had that massive squiddly thing in the back that they're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the slowest part. But then I'm still looking at the back, like, oh, God, I know you guys are talking over here, but what the hell is
I'm
going on
trying
over
to
there?
see what's going on.
Yeah, like, did
That's
you
James
guys,
Gunn
like,
shaking the
did he-
jangly keys. Look at the
Yeah.
shiny.
I'm like, did you get him yet? Like, Jesus Christ, this conversation was going on for like 15 minutes, and you guys still haven't got it yet. It's like, damn. So it's like every time, even when it was slow, there was something else going on.
Yeah.
And I think because you had so many other characters, it was easy to jump in. All right, let's go see what Terrific's doing with Lois. Let's go see what Guy's doing with Hawk Girl. Hawk Girl.
I keep hearing that when you guys say it.
Absolutely.
Enunciate.
It's like, so there's so many characters that we're familiar with in the beginning of the movie, where it's like, all right, what's going on over there? What's going on over here?
Oh my God. They should have used the hashtag Hawk Girl Summer.
Jesus. Well, you can start it.
Let's do it. You heard it here first. We'll put that as the hashtag for the episode. How about that?
Yes, and Superman shit, just because.
But yeah, so for pros, I love the pacing. I love the casting. We already talked about this, but using an unknown Superman actor is great. Lois is great. Just supporting cast. I wish we got a little more of Wendell Pierce as some of
Me
you know
too.
Bunk. You know, he was really well cast as Perry White, but we didn't get to use him very much yet.
I think it's smart to use a kind of relative unknown for a character whose face is shown so much. Like with Batman, you can get away with it because he's behind a mask.
Yeah.
But if you have, like, if they say, okay, throw somebody out there, Bradley Cooper is going to be Superman. Already you have expectations because you've seen him in other work and you already have a set expectation of what that movie is going to be like. Yeah. But if you don't really know who this guy is, and that's not a disservice to him, it's just that that's kind of where he's at in this stage of his career. But I mean, now everybody knows who he is,
right?
But it really kind of helps where we can go in with a more open mind, right?
I would watch Bradley Cooper as Superman for the record, but
why not?
A couple other things here. The 1978 fonts, I like that when the title card first comes up, and I was like, oh, shit, that's nice. And they did the same thing in the closing credits. The point of view driven action scenes, very interesting. This just occurred to me, but I would point to Matt Reeves' cinematography, and forgive me, I don't know the name of his cinematographer, but in the Batmobile scene in The Batman, and they mount the camera on the car, and how crazy that looked, right? And for this, we're getting like GoPro Superman. Like his fucking face is right there, and it's moving with him. Like we talked about how Snyder, his idea was that it make it hard to capture him on film, and there's elements of Man of Steel photography in this movie, but there's also this different quality where it's like mounted to him, and we're with him flying. Yeah. And that felt pretty cool. I like, especially in the fight scenes and stuff, how you're really in it with them. Almost like the movie Gravity, like the way that film was shot in their space suits, and they're like actually surrounded by the lighting, and they're moving their body, so the lights of space are like reacting in the glass and stuff. And it's I don't know, it's just a way to ground it and to connect the audience to this unbelievable thing that's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Crypto. I love Crypto. I love that Superman outsmarts Lex Luthor. I love that this whole plan isn't just him, beating up the monster and then haul you away. It's using Lois and Jimmy and Perry, his allies in the real world, and taking him down through the paper, essentially. I thought that was pretty cool. And he even makes Lex cry at the end. which as Michael Keaton would say, Batman wouldn't cry.
Well, I almost cried like 4 different parts in that damn movie, dude. That shit had me an emotional roller coaster. I was like, oh, man, what's going to happen? Don't cry. You're in public in front of 12 other people.
Tell me about the pros for you guys. What did you enjoy the most?
Jeez.
All right, good talk.
And that was our show.
I enjoyed his version of Superman and Clark Kent. I enjoyed the brightness of the universe. I enjoyed the Justice Gang for the most part. I enjoyed some of the real world commentary in the movie. I enjoyed seeing the road sign for Gotham City.
Oh yeah, it was on the left side.
Oh, I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, it's like it's very quick, dude. It's like I forgot what the right sign said, but I saw Gotham City on the left side. On the left side.
I missed it too, but what part of the movie was that in?
Why did they show the highway scene?
Towards the end, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it like a freeway ramp sign or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Freeway ramp sign.
When I saw that, I was like, oh shit, Gotham City's closed.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, Gotham and Metropolis have always been relatively close.
Yeah.
This again.
Just saying.
No, I'm with you.
I enjoyed seeing. We haven't mentioned his cousin.
I know. I realized I forgot to bring up the
Yeah.
cameo.
I was
Yeah.
ready for that one because someone owns crypto.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not the soup, Tommy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great. And have you guys read Woman of Tomorrow?
No.
No, I just bought the trade, so I'll probably read it soon.
I haven't read it. It was one of those that sounded interesting, and then like I saw more of the art, and it just didn't quite click with me stylistically. But supposedly, that's on brand for
The next
that version of her,
yeah.
which is what the movie is going to be called, unless they also remove the byline.
Oh, okay.
But I thought that was funny. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It kind of came so late in it that I didn't expect her to show up by that point. And so it got me as a genuine surprise. And the fact that Crypto is just like wreaking havoc the whole movie, and then she shows up and she's a mess and he's hers, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is
It
perfect.
all makes sense now. It's always the owner.
And then she calls Superman a bitch too, which I got a little bit of laugh out of that.
What else you got, Gramps? Gramps?
That's
Gramps,
it. I'm
Gramps, what are you?
done. I'm done.
That's it? Those are a lot of good things.
You fucking people have one letter different in your names. It's upsetting. I don't like it.
Tons of laughs.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that Grump said. You guys know me. I'm not the biggest Superman fan out there.
You keep saying that, but you're having fun.
I love the fact that he got his ass kicked so many times. So many times. I was just like, it kind of made him a more interesting character. He had flaws. Okay, that's great. He's not this, Christ-like figure that, he's portrayed as in a lot of movies and comics. And, they do a very good job of showing that he's humanistic, and it's funny. There's been a lot of dialogue, and I'm sure you've seen some of the commentary about, what in the news and whatnot, but you could almost trade the word alien for American in this movie, and it was just showing how he is one of us, right? That's really the whole, to me, the sense of the movie was the message. The main message is that he's one of us, and he can help you if you allow him to help you. But I love the supporting cast. I thought they did a good job. It was nice to see a true Lois Lane again. I love the Justice Gang. I didn't know, like I said, I've never liked Guy Gardner in the comics, and I was like, oh man, why couldn't we get one of the cool lanterns? But then he was the perfect fit, because just his one-liners and stuff that he did was really cool.
Definitely flipping those tanks with the finger home.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah, he
great.
was just like,
I
you
mean-
get an upgrade.
I think that Nathan and James have such a history now that it's just
Yeah.
like he knows how to play it and he knows how to write to his sensibilities, and they're just a good
Exactly.
team,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's like the anti-Superman, but he does he is the hero. So, and I love Mr. Terrific. Thought he was great. It was really cool to finally see a hot girl on screen live action. Just like with Black Adam, I love Hawkman. He's like my second favorite DC character.
I
So-
thought that was really cool in Black Adam as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, the Hawks are getting some love finally. I love it. And so hopefully we get some more of that action, whether it's, with a series or maybe included in some more films. Levi sent me a message, and unfortunately he couldn't join us tonight, but he said the fact that I said, well, that didn't suck, shows that that's high praise.
He texted me and said, "You saying that on the way out of the movie is about as positive as it gets. So I was like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. What's funny is, we went and saw it in this XD theater. Do you guys have those?
Oh God,
Where
yeah, I've
it
never
adds
done those.
It adds the physical element of the
Oh,
movie.
yeah, I heard about
That's
that.
too much.
The seat shakes, and when he's flying, you can kind of feel and stuff like that. Well, I've never been in one of these before, and I was like, cool, what's this button do? I'm pressing. It's kind of like the volume button. I had this thing cranked the highest possible. And when
So
you
it's
get
shaking you.
do you guys have like your favorite drink and go-to snack when you go to a movie?
Yeah.
Sure.
I do. I have to have a cherry Coke and I have to have a box of those Reese's Pieces. Okay? And usually the Reese's Pieces are probably gone before the opening credits are even done. But that large cherry Coke, I'm sipping on that throughout the whole movie. About by the second act, I've got to go bad. And then that's where all the action starts happening. That's where the fights start happening. And that thing is shaking, and my bladder is just screaming at me. And I'm just like, I can't get up to go pee, but my God, can't take this anymore. And then I realized I had that XD button on the max. I had to I had to turn that thing down.
Just shaking the piss out of you.
See,
Oh my God.
I solved that solution, not in the XD environment, but I was always the cherry Coke at the movies guy. And at a certain point, my wife and I switched to the cherry icy because with the icy, I'm still wetting my mouth. I'm still getting the flavor, but I'm not
Slowing you
consuming as
down.
much liquid. And then I don't have to pee during the film. So
See,
I've
I
been
would
doing
get
that for
brain
like
freeze.
10 years. And it's great.
I can't do the ices. I'd just be getting brain freeze too quick.
I mean, I'm not like fucking inhaling it. Jesus.
Well, I don't know.
I think maybe the quantity is your problem then. You're a voracious drinker.
But yeah, I mean, will I go back to see it again? No. Did I enjoy it? Yeah, it was fun. So
Just wait for it on Max.
I think I will see it again in the theater.
I was just like, okay, and I know this is Superman, so obviously they're going to come out and it's going to be family friendly. It's going to be very, it's going to have some comedy in it. It's James Gunn, so it's going to be quirky, right? But I was like, man, I hope this is not the direction he takes with a Batman movie. I don't think I can handle quirky Batman.
Please no. You can let Damian be quirky, but not Batman.
Yeah.
I'm still like, it's a perfect contrast between the Gunn universe and the Batman
Reeves?
universe. Yeah, Matt Reeves.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. I would love to see that.
You want to see that with this one?
Yeah, I mean, this Superman sticks out like a sore thumb. Like that Clark Kent in Gotham is just like.
I feel like
You're saying that the Batman movie and this Superman should be in the same universe and coexist and be like, okay.
Yeah.
it will feel like the animated
Boy.
series and the Superman cartoon at the same time when they were like back to back, and like Batman would go to like Metropolis and try to bang Lois, and then Superman would go to Gotham, and then I don't fucking belong here.
Yeah, I don't. I think
That'd
you
be
could
interesting.
Mix and match.
I don't know about that one.
Hey, listen, with the
I
right writing
don't
and
want to
directing,
see a
anything's possible.
Batman in this style.
I would
don't
be
think.
totally fine if they. I mean, they never will do this, but I'd be totally fine if they just don't, and they let Matt Reeves do the Batman thing in his lane, and then they build this universe with the crazy amount of characters they could also play with instead.
Yeah.
I'd be totally fine with that.
What would work? A Gotham, hero that would work in this universe they could always do a Batgirl in this.
Yeah.
In this universe.
Or a fucking,
stylistic, that would be perfect. Actually,
Pretty much do
Like,
everyone but
dude,
Batman at the moment.
Can we get a Nightwing movie in Bloodhaven? I mean, come on.
Yeah, Nightwing would be
Come
perfect.
on.
First person
Yeah.
I thought about was Nightwing. That'd be great. I would just have a Robins movie. All the Robins.
Dave, what do you got for pros?
Rose, all right. So I went to this movie just watching the first trailer. Didn't watch anything else. I didn't pay attention to who was going to be in the movie. I didn't care. I was like, I'm going to watch it when it comes out, and that's it. I had no expectations because when you go and have an expectation, they get crushed. So
Yes.
I like this. I like the beginning, throwing us right in the middle of it. I like learning about these new characters that I really haven't really read much about. I'm like, I love when that's done because it kind of like forces us to like the character or like learn a little bit about them while we're watching them. And now afterwards, hence now, I'm like, all right, I want to learn more about Mr. Terrific. Like, what else does he do? Like that guy is great. So the fact that they threw a lot of new characters out there that a lot of people are not familiar with excites me because now people who don't know anything about these characters, this guy, is going to look into it and want to learn more. I like his parents in this, just because like it just felt like parents.
Felt like they grabbed some non-actors.
I like the fact that Jonathan Kent didn't die.
Yeah, that was a huge one.
He has no Uncle Ben moment.
I'm like, all right, cool. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe save that for another movie or something. I don't know, but like the parents scene, I just thought about my parents most of the time. Like the one scene when he went back to Kansas. And they laid him on the bed, and his parents were just over him, like making sure that if he was okay, and like, he's going to be all right, and all that. And I was like, that was really heartwarming. Like a scene like that, I just like stared at it.
It's heartwarming, just for the record.
Yeah, just warming. And I was like, wow. So like I had all these powerful scenes with his parents, with his relationship. Very the campy scenes were pretty funny. You know, I'm okay with bringing that back. To most movies, it was entertaining, like Lois falling off the building with the T-Mobile. Like no one
I remember that.
That was like when they took off with all the reporters and stuff. When I was like, all right, isn't that pod on top of the building? All right, let's go.
Thing. Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know, it had all these moments that were like taken seriously, but they were also funny at the same time. Again, I walked out of the movie feeling good about it. I like the fact, as Grumps mentioned, how it touched on like real world issues. If you really looked at it, and like you can see which characters are who and what countries are which. But overall, because of all that, because of my emotional roller coaster that I had watching this damn movie. I enjoyed it, and I always say when my emotions get involved in a movie, it means I'm really paying attention, and the writing and directing did his job. So
see, that's why Ben didn't rate movies very highly because he's emotionally dead inside.
No emotion.
See, Dunk, I think you just made Sam cry right there with that. So I mean,
I just wiped. Yeah. So,
boom.
Dave, you had to sit there for a long time, so I'm gonna let you lead now with cons. What do you have, if any?
Oh man, shorts are too big.
Shorts are too big.
The shorts are too big.
Oh, the costume. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, it's funny because after that entire the video was released and everyone hated him within like 5 seconds, and I was angry. I was like, I gotta find something else to hate. And then I looked at his shorts. I'm like, his shorts are too big.
You know what? I mean, did you see where James Gunn and the Superman actor had to talk about their decision to go with the trunks?
Yeah.
And, you know, because most of the suit looks very technical and like kind of like a spacesuit and all this stuff. And in my mind, all that they had to say as an explanation was that Martha made those trunks to kind of bring some of that Midwestern wholesome decency to him, because without it, you could kind of see his junk, you know? And she thought,
it's a little more modest.
You need to wear this to kind of cover yourself up. That's all that they had to say.
Ass.
But then you'll have to burn him off every time he gets into a big firefight. You know?
That's all they had to do. Whiteys.
And it would have been perfect. Huge. It would have been perfect when he went home. If she was like on the sewing machine, sewing some new trunks, saying, I got some more for you. And just, that's where he got his trunks. That's all
I
that
feel
they had
about
to
this suit the way that I feel about Keaton's Batsuit in The Flash, which is to say that at first glance, it looks like it was made for an action figure. And when I saw the movie, it works on screen, and it didn't bother me once. And then after the movie, when I saw the Hot Toys figure, I thought, this really was made for an action figure. It doesn't detract from the movie. I still liked it on screen. It never registered as a problem as I'm watching it. But it's one of those things that seems like it was made to be reproduced or something as a toy and actually works.
I just thought it was interesting how he'd go through this big fight sequence and be all burnt up and stuff like that. And then they'd show the next scene and clean. Right?
Yeah, at the very end. I'm like, dude, you just fought your life for like 45 minutes. And then at the end, it's like,
clean.
Like, wait,
he's
dude,
like,
you go to, did you just spin and rinse? Like, what you do?
Swam through that water, came up, rinsed clean.
Yeah, then he blew on himself to dry real quick.
Yeah.
Done. He's his own dry cleaning.
He said he blew himself.
Man. But yeah, I didn't really go into this looking for negatives. The two negatives I had was I was pissed off when everyone turned on him and his trunks. That's it. I was like, you know what? Enjoy the rest of the movie, dude, and shut up. And I have to rewatch it again to be more critical of the movie.
Okay, Grumps, on your cons list, if any, what do you have?
Pretty much the same thing as Dunk. There was one scene where they were doing like the perp walk with him. And I just thought, I like the trunks on the outside, but the suit was very square on him. Very boxy in that particular scene. And then it has the whole New 52 panel lines thing and the neck thing. And that's it. That's really the only thing that, other than that, I liked it when he was doing the Superman stuff and, it didn't bother me. But if I had to point at one thing, it would be that.
Did you guys like that his glasses were described as hypno glasses?
Yeah, that was actually
I
pretty
knew
cool.
that from that was like a 70s thing or something, So
Yeah.
But it finally got it was finally described on the movie. It was never
because to me
love
that
the
was
fact that
a
they have
middle
a whole
finger at fans, just shut up.
I love the fact that
none of this is real.
See, I never questioned it until this movie where they said that. And I'm like, right, but in the internet age, motherfuckers would be looking at this dude on their phone. They've been recorded. I'm like, you're not hypnotizing me.
I just love the fact that, was it Green Lantern that in the Hall of Justice, they were like, you know about the glasses, right? You know he's Clark Kent, right?
She's like, what if I didn't? You would just say that?
Yeah.
This is so funny.
That's a perfect James Gunn dialogue right there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gramps, what do you have on your cons list?
All
if
right,
anything?
look, here we go. Get ready.
Whip out the script.
Boy. Man, let me get a pillow.
It's going to be a 3-hour episode.
Number 1.
Oh, it's numerical.
It's a Superman movie. Number 2.
Lack of screen time for Cat
Batman.
Grant.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I told Ange before I went to this movie, I was like, look, I just want you to know I'm going to this movie tomorrow. I showed her the character poster of her, and I was like, I'm going to have feelings, okay? I'm just letting you know. I'm going to have feelings about this girl right here.
Yeah, she's a
Stunner.
in the sequel.
Number 2.
Number 2. They
Bad
didn't
wig.
fully flesh out the whole Jor-El speech thing like we previously talked about. I thought that there was going to be kind of a reveal there that, here's the full message. What you heard was just cuts and pieces where maybe Jor-El was saying, you could go to this place and dominate and be a god and take over, but that's not who you are and why we sent you here. And kind of bring back, okay, no, he's actually here to help mankind and whatnot. That's what I was expecting. We didn't get that. I was a little disappointed.
I like a good intention Jor-El in the same way I like a good intention Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, I hate whenever they paint Thomas Wayne as kind of like this nasty, aristocratic.
Like the way Joker did it.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that because that's not
a
my
non-philanthropist.
Thomas Wayne.
And I'm with you there, but I think it worked very well in this version because of the fact that so much of this story was about Superman, being more human and more connected to his world that he lives in. I still think it was all made okay with that little scene at the end.
It's okay to be wrong sometimes, Sam. But next,
yeah, I'm sure it is. I'll let you know when it happens to me for the first time.
Number 3, CGI babies. I'm so sick of CGI babies.
The Flash really left a bad taste in your mouth, and you couldn't shake it.
That whole sequence there was like way too long. That could have really been cut a little.
He was fighting. Superman's fighting motherfuckers with the baby in his hand, like one hand up in the air.
Oh man, I thought
it's also a green baby.
Yeah, better than the real one.
CGI baby. I was just like, what am I watching here? This is where I was like, this is where I should have gone to the bathroom.
In the pocket universe, getting sucked up by a black hole. I
did think that baby. Black hole was conveniently slow. They took a little too long on that one, but
that sequence could have been a lot condensed in the CGI baby. We don't need any more CGI babies. I'm tired of CGI babies.
I prefer practical effects ugly babies like Peter Jackson's Dead Alive. Just saying.
Well, I mean,
zombie baby? Anyone? No.
I never saw.
At the very end, they gave the perfect setup. At the very end, they showed the Element Man, Metamorphio or whatever his name is, with his wife. Why couldn't they just have the wife as the prisoner that he was,
as the victim?
And then you wouldn't have to deal with CGI baby. But here we are.
And the baby got merged too, which is weird now because the baby wasn't really. Didn't have a big role in the movie. Well, that big role in it.
No, just for his dad to become the son.
No more CGI babies. I'm tired of looking at those. Those are weird.
Unless CGI baby.
That's about it. I mean, I was a little disappointed there wasn't an credits screen scene that had Batman, as there were some rumors. Spoiler alert: there's not, but. You know what?
Oh my goodness!
See, guys, practical is always better.
What is that?
It's Peter Jackson's first movie.
Oh my god!
I never had to see that. I never have to see that ever again.
I didn't know he acted in his own movie.
On that note, I'm okay with CGI baby.
Sorry, I had to.
That was great. Those are my cons.
All right, so
and also too much action when you're sitting in an XD seat. Please tone that down.
And you have to pee.
Oh my god. I felt like
you could have toned it down. You toned it up.
I did. Oh man, it was bad.
All right, so I got just a couple things here. Some of them I mentioned already. Superman does get beat up a lot, a little too much for my liking. Clark loses his cool a little too much for my liking. This I didn't mention, but leaning on the John Williams score, I didn't care for that. I feel like if you're doing a reboot and you're launching a new universe, the music in the movie is good. Give us that. Like, just the way that they started with that old thing, I was like, are we really just cannot get over that? Like, I don't know. It's a little thing, but come on.
Yeah.
I thought using the visuals was cool, but the music was a touch too far. The dialogue at times, and this is tricky in superhero movies, science fiction movies, sometimes it's just gonna get a little clunky when you're explaining stuff, but very minor. The Peacemaker cameo. This might be divisive. This is in my cons because John Cena did a whole movie with Margot Robbie who shared scenes with Ben Affleck, who shared scenes with Henry Cavill. Like, allow us to move on by moving on with a clean slate, you know? I don't understand. I think it's weird to just, well, I like these guys. I want to keep working with them. So they're technically the new universe and the old universe. Like, I don't like that. It's messy. It took me out of it for a moment where I'm like, why is the guy from the old one? You know, like, I knew they were going to do more Peacemaker, but still seeing it was just like, that feels like this is from a different movie. Feels weird. And then the main con that I have is the shoehorned punk rock stuff that is now all over social media.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the only thing in the movie that made me like roll my eyes and like, ugh. You know, when you know, Lois is like, I guess you are kind of punk rock. I'm like, dude, I blew out my birthday candle. Does that make me a fucking firefighter? Come on. Jesus Christ. Like, oh, you built a blanket fort. I guess you are kind of a structural engineer. Like, I understand the intent behind statements like, you know, kindness in a cruel world is an act of rebellion. I get the message, but to have this dumbass like TikTok trend of a punk rock thing is the new punk. Superman is the most square ass, clean cut white boy motherfucker ever. I love the guy, but come on, there's nothing punk rock about Superman. And that fucking lame-ass Iggy Pop song that they used. And now it's on everyone's fucking Instagram reels. Because I'm a punk rocker, yes I am. Blow it out your ass from a real punk rocker for the last 30 fucking years, okay? I didn't like it. It felt disingenuous. I know James Gunn is of a previous generation of the fucking Pistols and the Stooges and all that shit. I get it. But I've been biting my tongue on this all fucking week. And oh my God, it's driving me crazy.
That song drove me crazy because I was like, you know, all you hear is Iggy Pop saying, I'm a punk rocker. I was like, then why are you on this candy corn pop song?
Right.
God, it's terrible.
Yes.
I hated that.
And
that
I'm
was
so behind.
That's number 4. That's number
There you
4
go.
on my con. I
I'm
hate
so
that song.
behind the message of hope and kindness and unity and understanding that's in this movie. I'm all about it, and I love that we can go to a movie and walk out of it feeling good, and that this movie is far and away better than the recent output from either of the big two, in my opinion, and it makes you feel good in a time where nothing feels good. And you go outside from the theater, and the world is still shit, and you feel a little bit better. That's awesome. But goddamn, just it's just,
Social media gotcha.
Now I got the fucking least punk rock motherfuckers all over my timeline going, it's the punk rock now. Like, no, you're not. You go to fucking raves and cosplay.
Oh man.
Sorry.
Okay.
You were
Get it out.
holding on to that one. If we didn't have the podcast
Dude.
today, you would have fucking blown up.
Oh man, I've been waiting. I probably did not even say it in a way that articulates something that I think other people would understand if they were talking about whatever your identity is for your life. You know, like if they took comic books and something else, you know, I guess I am kind of a comic book nerd. I'm like, what do you fucking... Because you have a Dark Knight poster on the wall. You know, whatever. I just... Rating. Real quick. Short and sweet. Short and sweet rating out of 5. What do you got?
I give it a 4. That's short and sweet.
Dave's got 4.
I'll go 4.
Grump's got 4. I've got 4.
You gave me
I
enough.
walked out thinking
You gave me enough
4.5.
cons. I'm going to knock it down to a 3.
Ah, there you go.
Wow.
That's pretty good for him.
One other pro, I'll say this.
Yes.
One other pro is that this is the last Superman movie we'll have to review.
Yeah.
Oh,
For
man.
now.
Yeah, get another 3 years.
I told Sammy when we were talking about me coming on the show, like, I just want to talk about Batman.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
Hey, here we are.
Then
We got 90 episodes of that shit, man. It's we got to wait for DC to crank out some more movies, man.
Yeah.
It's all good. For the
All right.
series, boy.
Well,
I love
that is our show. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening. Again, if you could see us on the screen, that's the right shit to be checking out for Bat Fanatic Fridays. Appreciate you guys' comments and spreading the word when we drop a new episode. I know some of you always do and means a lot. We will return. We've got plenty more comics that we have reviewed. I believe next up we're going to be talking about One Bad Day again. We went to all the different villains in the series, but we broke it up with a standalone from Poison Ivy that was not actually part of the series because she was left out for some reason. So stay tuned. I believe that's what's up next. Poison Ivy by none other than Clayman.
Peace.